Can I have everyone's attention, please? Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Mike and Beth's wedding. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben. I'm the best man here that I was not aware of until maybe a week or so ago. Formally asked, I should say. But I'm very, very glad to have you all here today to celebrate these two finally getting married, because that was a conversation for many, many years before this finally happened. And I was there the night that they got engaged, which was interesting. For those of you who don't know that story, we went out for, anyone's been into Charleston during Christmas time, they have the lights over in James Island County Park. These two decided they want to come down, go see the lights. And I'm staying on my own over in West Ashley. And I get a call that night. And by the way, I'm taking care of my parents' dog at the time. So I've got the dog and me, and that's it. These two call me at 9 o'clock at night and say, hey, we're coming down to Charleston to see the lights. Would you be willing to go with us? Because, I'm their dedicated third wheel in this entire relationship. So they get there. They pull into the parking lot, or a parking spot, and Beth stays in the car. Mike comes inside and proceeds to tell me I'm proposing to her tonight while I'm putting my shoes on. This is the first I've heard about this. I had already made plans to bring the dog with me because the dog had sat inside all day. So the dog is joining us on this adventure. And my dog, or my parents' dog I should say, very skittish around large groups of people. So we get into their car with my dog and me, back seat of course. I'm not going to join them in the front seat. And we go to the light show. Drive through, it's very beautiful. Anybody that hasn't seen it, highly recommend it. It's a very, very beautiful show. Go through, my dog ends up throwing up in the car. So strike one for the evening. And we finally get parked, dog gets out, I get out. They get out, we start wandering around. Now, of course, as with most of this entire situation here today, very little of this was planned. So, he wants me to take the picture. Does not tell me when or where. He just says, well, I'll give you a signal. No signal was arranged beforehand. So we're walking around. I've got the dog yanking my arm out of my socket and running away from people as fast as it can. They're kind of moseying around, and I'm trying to keep my distance. I'm trying to give them the evening that they definitely deserve. And Mike had worked as minimally as he could to pull off. And long story. I turn around because my dog is pulling me one way. Get the dog back under control, and I turn around, and he's on his knee. At that point, I'm trying to pull my phone out, and any of you that have seen these photos...
Nobody's seen them.
Oh, yeah, because there's a very good reason. Because also my phone camera was broken, glass shattered. Because again, I have a $500 camera that I bought, but because I was not made aware of this whole situation, I had my phone. So it happens, and that was it. The rest of the evening went great. Brought me home. I was tired and cranky at that point, and I went to bed because I had to get up the next morning and go to work. Dog didn't throw up again, so I had that going for me. But if that doesn't sum up the relationship between these two, I don't know what does. For all of you that have been involved in the planning process of this wedding, knows that very, very, very well. So I have had privilege is the right word, to spend a lot of quality time with both of them when I stayed at their house for a couple of week period. And these two sappy, love-filled degenerates have no shame. of any kind. And the stuff that I walked into will give me nightmares for the rest of my life. No shame. Didn't care that I walked in either. They didn't stop. Just there. They're like, hey Ben, lucky I got that. But oh yeah, of course you don't. You were busy at the time. But these two are so meant for each other. They are so perfect for one another. That's nothing like I've ever seen. You know, they are caring, compassionate, crazy, and can't wait to see what you two come up with going on from here. So, I'd like to make a toast to the new happy couple. I hope nothing but the best for you, and don't worry, because I'm going to be right there with you the entire time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely. That was very
Yeah.
Best father. Beth called me about 2 weeks ago and said, Daddy, I said, yeah, Beth. She goes, you have to make a speech. And I went, are you sure you're asking the right person? And she went, oh yeah. Here we go.
bad idea.
I'm going to give you a little bit of foresight because many of you don't know Beth from being little. So I'm going to share some stuff with you. Okay, Richard, part of this is just for you, okay? So, you have to understand, my daughter, Ben, you may have known her for a while. I was there when she came into the world, okay? I've known her a little bit longer, so I'm a little bit on. She started to walk, and it was great. But the problem was, when Beth started to walk, she couldn't stop. So I gave her a nickname, and I started calling her Bumper Car, which was quite pathetic later in life, right? We know that one. Beth, you okay there, huh?
Yeah.
All right. My daughter, God help you, had a spending habit from an early age. For those of you who remember like CompuServe and dial-up, I came home one day and my wife said, why did you order all this computer software? And I looked at it and there was a $3,000 bill with this box of computer software. And then we realized Donna was in the kitchen, she was putting Beth on the computer to play games, and every time the pop-ups came, she'd go, yep, yep, yep. She spent $3,000 on computer software at the age of like 2.5. We had a nice discussion about returning that. So she actually is a queen of spending. Sense of humor. Boy, do we have a sense of humor. For those of you who know this, please don't ruin it. This little girl was 4 years old and she comes home from preschool and she's got like the pigtails going and she's cute and adorable and very cherubic. And she walks up to me and she says, Daddy. I said, yeah, Beth. She goes, why did the monkey fall out of the tree? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I don't know, Beth, why did the monkey fall out of the tree? And she said,
Because it was dead.
because it was dead. And she walks away. And I'm thinking, wow, that's just like the funniest joke I've ever heard. So to this day, she'll call me up, and if I'm having a bad day, she'll go, Daddy, I go, yeah, why'd the monkey fly out of the tree? And then it's all over after that. All right, determination, she's incredibly determined. I remember in about 2nd grade, she tried out for recreational cheerleading, had no idea what it was about. They had cuts, and she didn't make it. But one of her little girlfriends, and we all know, sorry Caitlin, that little girls can be really kind of catty, turned around to her the next day in school and said, see, you'll never be a cheerleader. She worked like the devil for the next year. She made the cheerleading team. And then continued to make it all the way up through high school. Now the problem was, she didn't like any of the cheerleaders. She only did it because they said she couldn't. And she was determined, to prove them wrong for like 9 years. Right?
That's right.
Got that. However, she is caring. She will do anything for you. Donna had to go in the hospital, unexpected. Bub had to go in the hospital. She's on the next flight home. And she wants to be there, and she wants to help out with mom or dad, whoever it is. She'll give you the shirt off her back. Michael, you need to know how to keep your sanity. All right? So here's what I had to learn. She was about 4 or 5 years old, and she kept saying, I want mommy. And I want mommy. I want mommy. And as you can probably attest to, once she starts saying it, does she ever stop? No. So what I found is the best way to keep your sanity is to confuse her. So we're driving in the car and she goes, I want mommy. No, Beth. I want mommy. No, Beth. I want mommy. No, Beth. I want mommy. And I looked at her and said, I want pizza fries. And she looked and goes, what the hell is he talking about? And she had to process that. And every time she said, I want mommy, I responded, I want pizza fries. And she had no idea how to respond, and she stopped. All right? So you need to confuse her. All right? She's as loyal. She's the strongest ally you will ever have. And maybe to the point where she's a little too strong of an ally. God forbid, and this is the most hateful thing in the world, years I hear, I hate my brother, I hate my sister, I hate my brother. But these two, as soon as me or Donna would go to correct one of them, the other one's defending them. Like, you go to correct Jonathan, and they just have each other's back perpetually. So she is absolutely the strongest ally you're going to have. I'm going to save that one for last. I have one more. She is very, very compassionate. She loves little puppies, little kittens. And there would never be a little puppy or a little kitten that would go homeless because they're going to find their way into Michael and Beth's house. That's how we got Charlie, that's how we got Boo, that's how we got Nugget. And what you probably didn't know is there was another one last week that we got a phone call. Look at this puppy, it's so cute, it was loose on my street. And we're going, Beth, you better find its owner. No, better find its owner. And then we said, Michael, just say no. And he's going, Beth, you better find its owner. Thankfully she did. Right? The last thing I'm going to say is my daughter, in spite of today, is the most organized person I've ever met in life.
Today's the exception.
I have no clue what happened here. Beth will make a list for everything. She will have a list of what all of her other lists are. And she will go down that list. And it's like gospel. But she is incredibly organized. And I wish you many, many years of happiness, health, and Lord knows you're both going to need a sense of humor. All right. That's it. All right.